Hey, I'm Alex Rackler from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review, where we go over a variety of news pieces, the videos of the week, the games I've played, the games we've covered, all of that and more. And in fact, this week, we're going to be doing a special highlight focus on Origins Game Fair and the games that will be there. This is something that I sometimes do in dedicated videos. Today, we're rolling it into the News and Week in Review. So if you want to see the games I'm excited about at Origins Game Fair, we'll be figuring that out together. I say together because I haven't actually done any research on this, but I do have the list pulled up, and I'll be explaining why I'm doing it in this video and not in a full video. Anyways, I am fighting against a cat meowing in the background. Oh no, he left. Oh, he's behind the stack of games. You can kind of see him a little bit over here. A cat that's been meowing me in the background, a headache that won't quit, but unfortunately I missed last week's News and Week in Review, and I do try to not miss 2 weeks in a row, so we'll see if I can persevere past my headache, and then hopefully I'd say take a shower, because that helps me with headaches, but I already took the shower and the headache's still there. The next step is a power nap, but I hate taking naps during the day. It can throw me off so much. But then again, I hate headaches too. So like, what do you do? What's the person to do? And yes, I took medicine. Medicine doesn't really help me with headaches. I don't know what it is. Like, I find it showers and naps. Medicine I take just to check that box off. So when someone says, hey, did you take an Advil, an ibuprofen, or a Tylenol? I can be like, yes, I did one of those 3 things. And then they can tell me why the one I did is the wrong one and the one they have is actually the right one. You should really take Tylenol or ibuprofen or whatever. Everyone has the thing that works for them. For me, it's showers and power naps. Now that we've learned way too much about what I do to deal with headaches, let's go ahead and talk about the News and Week in Review. We're going to be diving into a few things. Let's start off with news, then we'll do, let's see the order here. Let's do news, then the Origins highlight, and then the Week in Review part of things. So, starting off with news over here, the biggest thing is Sail South for the Isle of Penguins. Frank West from City of Games is coming back with the Isle of Cats universe, but this time they're doing the Isle of Penguins. I am very excited for this one. Isle of Cats is a game system that I've always loved the universe. Some games in that system have worked more for me than others, but overall, I'm very excited for Isle of Penguins and whatever changes are being brought to the table from Isle of Cats. You can follow the Kickstarter page for that already. In more new content for Games We Love expansions, more new content for Games We Love news, we have a new Harmonies expansion being announced. Harmonies Crescento, not a lot of information publicly around this yet, but there is this little blip. Anything new for Harmonies, I am intrigued and excited for. Harmonies is a fantastic game, and this I like the art. I like the art, I like the style. I'm curious what this actually brings to the table. There's a little bit over here, build unique landscapes, small natural beings that enrich every habitat. It doesn't tell me a lot about the actual gameplay, so I am intrigued to see how that's actually going to play out. But it's going to come with new protected area boards, 4 personal boards, 4 reminder cards, 10 whisper cards, and 20 whisper creature cubes and a score sheet pad. So like, somewhere between a mini expansion and a big expansion, it's an expansion with new content for Harmonies. In less fun news, we have over on Board Game Wire, there's an article on Steamforged over here. Basically, Steamforged has confirmed that there are redundancies. This is something that we kind of saw news about, kind of infiltrating the various ecosystems, where there are people posting, hey, I worked for Steamforged Games, not me personally, but people are posting they worked for Steamforged Games, and unfortunately they were let go as part of redundancies, and that slowly infiltrated its way to like there being an official, not as a press release so much as press engagement, where Steamforged Games has confirmed that they have basically let go a lot of their staff. They are pivoting away from board games, and they're focusing primarily on War Machine, at least for now. That's what seems to be happening at the moment, which means if you're expecting more Steamforged games coming out, there's less of that happening. That said, they do have a lot of crowdfunding campaigns still out there outstanding, and it does sound like, at the very least, sounds like they intend to go ahead and deliver all those things. Time will tell. The interesting thing is that, and again, disclaimer that I am friends with the people at Steamforged Games, but this is all coming from the press lens as opposed to my own personal interactions. But over here, it does seem, because they have a presence in the space, because they have War Machine, it's not the same as a company just quietly up and disappearing from existing crowdfunding obligations. It is theoretically possible to have, the board games undelivered and still probably have a line of games that are doing well. I just think that's muddier and more complicated. I assume the various Steamforged Games outstanding projects will be delivered. Ultimately, we'll find out. We'll find out how it all plays out, but it does seem like they are slowly shifting away from the board game space. This is something we actually saw this. I don't recall if I covered this in a News and Week in Review video, but like we had Flat River Group leaving the board game space a while ago. We had Osprey Games recently announcing that they are no longer doing games. Effectively, they're stepping away as well. So it does seem like board games, as much as there's a lot of money in board games, it's always a good reminder that it doesn't seem to be where the actual profit is. It seems like lots of companies that have established success in theory are like, you know what, the margins here are not what we need them to be to run a proper company. Let's go ahead and focus on something else. Now, granted, War Machine is board game adjacent, but it seems like, hey, seems to be where the interest, the personal interest, again, from knowing the company, I can tell you that they very much have their hearts in the miniature ecosystem, so to speak. War Machine was something that was very near and dear to the hearts. So this is probably a combination of personal passion and also just the ability to focus on one product properly and hopefully get better margins on that. This is mostly conjecture on my side. Anything you don't see in the press release here is all conjecture on my side. But anyways, that's basically as far as Steamforged, which brings us to the Origins list over here. Now, I was originally going to do a dedicated video on this, but then I saw that there's 153 games lined up on the Origins preview list. And at first I was like, maybe, and by the way, 153 is a very small number. Usually when you have these preview lists for Gen Con, UKGE, like UKGE is like 500 games, Gen Con is usually over 1,000, Essen is usually over 1,000, and maybe it's because, you know, with Eric Martin stepping away from BGG, maybe it's not being run the same way. Granted, the UKGE list did seem accurate, but then I looked at the various publishers attending Origins, and it does seem like Origins is still continuing to struggle. Like, we'll see how it goes, but Origins in general, it's a convention that is near and dear to my own heart, being a two and a half hour drive away from me. It's one I go to every year. It's one I bring my kids to. Like, I want Origins to succeed and do well, but time and time again, it does seem like Origins is drifting slowly away from being a core convention and one that is, well, not the same level it was before. And again, we're seeing that in terms of even the games and the exhibitors that are there. Because at first I thought this BG list was just incomplete, and then when checking the exhibitors list, I just didn't see a ton of names that I usually see at these conventions. So, and because of that, I decided this wasn't interesting enough to be a full dedicated video on the top 10 games out of 153 that I'm excited about at Origins 2026. So instead, I pulled this list up, and I'm sorting my thumbs, and I'm going to give you my brief thoughts on what intrigues me and why. Because honestly, again, like the most thumbs, is this like, sort by publisher, let's sort by thumbs. 89 thumbs is the most thumbs. Again, on a list that sometimes has hundreds and hundreds of thumbs and some of the more interesting ones. Oh, so from here, just going through the more popular ones. Kakeshi is a game I've played on BGA. I like it. I don't know if I felt the need to pick it up in person. Three Sisters. I've been very interested in Three Sisters, the new edition. I love the art style of it. I think Three Sisters are a great game. I have Three Sisters. This is one that I definitely recommend you check out if you haven't already. But, you know, I don't know if I need to pick this up again just for the new art. Like, is that enough of a reason? Maybe if I gift my old one away, that could be a good reason. A Container from Allplay, still want to play this one. This was a UKGE release. I have my own copy. I have not tabled it yet. I'm halfway through the rulebook. I never played the original Container, so I am interested in this one. Whisperwood, I managed to demo this one at Gamma. I saw it at UKGE, but did not demo at UKGE. It's one that I still want to see and learn more about. Similarly, we have Excursions from Kins and Key. I am very intrigued by this one. Excursions is a follow-up in the same universe as Galactic Cruise. I don't know much about the actual gameplay on this one, but because they've delivered such a notable game, it colored me very intrigued and interested in whether this one's going to deliver something that is, again, a shorter game. It's 60 to 90 minutes, more accessible. I love the art style. I'm very intrigued as to what Kins and Key is bringing to the table with Excursions. Scrolling past a bunch of these Grand Gamer Guilds, a bunch of these like mini escape room type things. We have Pirates of the High Teas. I've played that. Mytura, I've played that. Trick to the Future. This is a great game. I think Trick to the Future was a very solid game. Gamehead in general has a bunch of small box games out. Their newer line of small box games I think is a better wave than the first wave. They had a wave of like 6 games like that in the first line. They're already on wave 2, and wave 2 I thought was very, very solid. Definitely check them out. Trick to the Future was a good one, but I think there'll be more on this list that I'm even more excited about. Drillers from CGE. Again, ratings don't seem to be super amazing so far. I am still very much interested in it and want to give it a shot. I might try this at Origins. Origins is a little easy going as far as conventions go. Speaking of which, if you see me at Origins, by all means stop me, say hi, all of those things. But I find that most conventions I'm running around at, I think Origins is my lightest convention, and PAX Unplugged is a little bit less light. This is for exhibitor conventions as opposed to playing board games. Like if I'm at Dice Tower, East, or Retreat, any of those things, like that's very chill. Less meetings of those kinds of things. Azure. Between Azure and Mytura, I thought Azure was the much better game. Really enjoy that one. Torchlight from Allplay is great. Oh, speaking of which, this is a regular reminder this channel is sponsored by Allplay. If you are at Origins Game Fair, make sure to check out the Allplay booth where you'll be able to see a variety of games both from Allplay as well as their partner publishers. That Azure, Mytura, Torchlight, these are all games you'll be able to find at the Allplay booth. They have a lot of board game bags, board game tables, and a whole lot of board games at every board game convention they go to. We have Jason and the Argonauts. Have not played this one yet. I am intrigued by this one. I like the original Hercules, and Jason is a follow-up from there. Wild Magic. I saw this one at Gamma. This is part of that Gamehead line of games. Friendly Fishing. I don't remember Friendly Fishing, so I don't remember Friendly Fishing. What was this one? Let me just open this up, because is it the one that No, I don't know if I remember this one. I may not have seen this one. Now, color me interested in this one because it looks fun and, you know, easygoing. Wild Magic also looked very solid. Did not play it. Got a little mini demo, a Reina Knizia game. Grunts is fantastic from All Play. But there's still more from the line of games from Gamehead that I want to talk about. Zombie Princess, I learned the rules too. I have not played it yet. Nickel Syndicate, not necessarily. Don't know enough about this one. Nothing there overall. We have Vanity Plates. Don't know much about it. Been intrigued by it since I first saw it. Where are more of the game headlines? Orlov, I still want to play this one. I have not got a chance to play Orlov. It's one that like really hit the ground running at first with Essen last year, but then kind of since then has not been super in the what's the right word? In the I don't know what the word is, but it hasn't been super talked about as much, I think. It's already like slightly disappeared. Pet Quartet. This is another one from Gamehead. I don't remember this one either. Did I see this one? I may not have seen this one either. Again, I'm intrigued by it. But there's a few. Where's the other ones? Raz. Raz is a great game. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. And Good Kitties, another game from Pink Hawk Games. They're the ones who did Pirates of the High Teas. I thought Pirates of the High Teas was fine, but I wasn't overly impressed. But Good Kitties, and I said overly impressed might be too harsh. I think it was a totally fine game that just wasn't doing anything new for me. But over here, Good Kitties, I like cats in general, as evidenced by the cat that's now next to me, no longer meowing as aggressively now that I've ignored him successfully. Size-wise, this is the one I'm most interested in by, and it's not the one I would think I'm interested in by, but this one was a very fun game, basically using a little, how do you even explain this? Is this showing the components? This isn't even showing the components properly. You have if I recall correctly, yeah, here we go, here's this. So you have these kind of like strings, and you kind of have to go with the size of a thing. So for example, you have, let's say the word is a ladle. What's the size of a ladle? And then everyone measures how big they think a ladle is, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's almost a little bit green team wins adjacent. It's about trying to be aligned with everyone else on what you think the size of a ladle is. The people furthest away from the actual general group consensus are going to be the people who lose out, so to speak. So it's a very fun game. I really enjoyed it. I got a short demo of it. This size-wise might be the game I am most looking forward to at Origins 2026, which is a weird thing to say, but I think when party games land properly, they land properly, and I am very interested in that. Super Jonk, another game from Pink Hawk Games about cats. I love that. Oh my gosh, one of my cats is very much a Jonk. Very intrigued by this one. Cyberpunk Legends from Night Crew Games. This is, they had the large crowdfunding campaign last year. I never actually played this one. It's a cooperative card game. I wasn't clear if it was like an RPG or a game at the time, or more of a board game, but intrigued. French Toast is fun. I like that one, but I like Triangulation even more. Triangulation is better, although French Toast is the very first game I've ever played by Peter Hayward. That's not true. It's the very first game I ever played by Peter Hayward once I met Peter Hayward at a random game cafe in Reno like 4 years ago at this point. But since then I played a lot of Peter Hayward games, and I played the one I played before that was, I think I played That Time You Killed Me, at the very least. Maybe others, but The Time You Killed Me. More Peter Hayward with Book Club, with Movie Club, with Fiction, just a line of Peter Hayward games. Movie Night over here. SETI Space Agency's already played, nothing really too exciting for me over there. Night at the Zoo, I don't know this one from Capstone. A Thomas Hollick game again, so another SETI designer of SETI is Thomas Hollick, and he's back with more stuff with Capstone. He's doing a lot of things with Capstone. Confusing Lands, I take it back, size-wise is the second most excited I am about a game. Confusing Lands is Icebound Isles, the follow-up to Confusing Lands. Great game from Envy Board Games. Easily my favorite from Envy Board Games. So very excited for that one. What else do we have? Aquatica Duellum, I still haven't played that one, so that's one that's on the radar, so to speak. And I think at this point, that's kind of like, I've gone through most of the things that are semi-worth having on your radar at any point, at least from what I can see here. At this point, we're down to like 13 thumbs on something. Doesn't mean it's a bad game. I still want to play Codenames Critical Role Adventures, haven't played that, so maybe that's on the list. There's a lot of things over here. Pirates of Maracaibo Bermuda Triangle. I don't think I have this expansion. I have to double check. I definitely have the Captain's expansion. This is one I will try to pick up if I can, because I love Pirates of Maracaibo. In fact, I'll be talking about it later. Ley Lines, only a 6.7 over here. I was very optimistic about this one, but it doesn't seem there's been a lot of buzz about it since it came out. Cities USA from Devere. I like the original Cities. I'm intrigued by Cities USA is doing. And I think at this point we are under 10 thumbs a game, which just means less things to go over. So that's going to be your Origins showcase. So a whole bunch of things to check out. Ooh, I've seen a Dogfight. They will apparently, Ark and Wonders will actually have a biplane, so you can check that on case you're interested. And Dragon Roost from Henry Born Games. I did not realize that Henry Audubon was doing design work with them. So that's fun, because I like Henry Audubon stuff. So yeah, that's kind of your Origins list, which brings us to the rest of the week in review. So for the rest of the week in review, we have the following. Videos this past week. Videos we did had a bunch of things. We did the games I brought back from UKGE, went up on Sunday. It was both a showcase of the games I came back from UKGE with, as well as some of the games that showed up while I was gone at UKGE. There's the most played games of 2026. I did a little video covering the games I've played the most this year, at least so far. I hope to do another one at the end of the year with a full recap of the year, but this is a halfway point. What am I actually playing? Not just what am I excited about and talking about in videos, what is hitting the table the most often? Although I will say, I have already, this week alone, I'll tell you more about it shortly, this week alone, I've already changed that list. Meaning there's at least one game that I have like 20 plus plays of in this 1 week so far. We'll get to that soon. Anyways, we had a Druid City Games publisher ranking. This is a ranking of Druid City Games games. It's a video series I do here and there where I pick a publisher, I rank the games, at least based on the ones I've played from that publisher. And then on Friday we had a UKGE walkthrough of the hall. Just kind of a little mini. It was a little rushed. I apologize for that. Longer story short, this last day of UKG, supposed to take the train, and then the train did not show up because apparently the trains were not running the last day of UKG, which was delightful. So I had to like desperately try to change my plans and get to the convention hall, but it did mean that the hour I thought I would have to like leisurely show different things became a rapid fire hall tour without as much thought as I was trying to put into it. So I apologize, it's not the video I wanted, but it's the video that I was able to get you. Then as far as the games covered this past week, we had a bunch. We had an Altera Preview going up on Tuesday, done by Meg. More about that soon because it is on the table over here. We had a review of 8 Dragons, overall solid game. I am excited more about the other things that they're adding for the sake of variety, but I did like the movement system. In fact, the publisher, Wonderbro Games, I mean, the last game was very much based on an innovative movement system, and so it's nice to see that they're doing the same thing. I doubt that's their thing, but at least they managed to feel innovative in the games they brought to the table, which is nice so far. There was a gameplay of Eureka from Bitewing Games. This is part of the Rolling Deep plus Eureka solo campaign going up soon at some point. Rolling Deep bringing you very Balatron style gameplay, and Eureka leaning into the same feeling while being a very different type of game. If you want to check out a gameplay, I did 2 sessions within that video, so you can get a sense of how it plays out. And then there's an unboxing for Narcos, an upcoming crowdfunding campaign launching next week, which is kind of like, you know, it's not really hidden movement, it's order placement, and then asymmetric sides as far as playing as either you know, one of the cartel factions or one of the police factions as you attempt to score as many points as possible in that game. As far as the games played this week, this is usually a small assortment of them, but I've had like 20 plus plays of Eureka. As much as I think Rolling Deep is the better game, but Eureka is addictive and easy to play. I have played it well over 20 times. In fact, if there's that, I would say more than 20 times. I think I'd have to do a count. I have to like log my plays. But I think over 30 plays of Eureka this past week alone. I've just gone again and again and again. In fact, I think doing actual math, probably around 40. So I'd have to double check, but I'm just thinking, because it's a scenario-based game to a degree, I've played every single mission you could, and I've failed a few times. So I think I'm at around 40 based on that count. So that's my sessions of Eureka. We also had Rolling Deep. I have like 4 plays of Rolling Deep, not nearly the same number of Eureka. It is a longer game. It's more satisfying as the game goes. I will have gameplay coverage for you on that this next week, and I'll have reviews for you both when those games launch. There'll also be, there will be. I've also played Terraforming Mars, always a great game, as much as I'm playing these new things that just arrived. I'm also playing Terraforming Mars, which is great, continues to hold up. Not the Legacy one. I do plan on going back for more Legacy of Mars, but regular Terraforming Mars and Pirates of Maracaibo. I mentioned it already earlier in this video, but I love Pirates of Maracaibo. It is still holding up. It's interesting. Between Pirates of Maracaibo and Darwin's Journey, I find Darwin's Journey to be the better game, but Pirates of Maracaibo is the one I play more often. Both of them are 5 out of 5s, and both have remained 5 out of 5s. As far as today there'll be a few videos going up. There should be a review for A Message from the Stars, an expansion from an all-play. It's the follow-up to A Message from the Stars. Not really follow-up, but the expansion to A Message from the Stars. And there'll also be a mini review, a rapid-fire review of La Pâtisserie de Rococo. I can never pronounce that correctly, but it's basically that little, you know, the baking of Rococo, or whatever you want to call it, the pastries of Rococo. It's a little mini game with the Rococo-style mechanism, but there'll be a review for that, for both those going up today. And as far as next week there'll be a gameplay for Everdell Journeys. Hopefully, I will have a review when the campaign goes live, but I'm probably going to do a gameplay, you know, next week, and then the campaign's going live whenever. I'll have a Rolling Deep gameplay as well, probably going up Sunday, but we shall see. And then hopefully games leaving the collection. I say hopefully because I have not filmed this month's games leaving the collection. Hopefully it will be going up this week. And then also there'll be Origins this week, so I don't know exactly how the week will play out, but this is at least a starting point as far as what's going to be happening. As far as the games on the table, they're right over here. These are games I hope to be playing more. We have Altera. I've only played it once so far. I hope to be playing it more. I don't know if I'll be doing a review. I don't know yet. I always feel a little weird doing reviews when there was also a preview review already done. They sponsored a preview on the channel, and I don't love having both, so I might save it for a final game review. We'll see, but I do want to play it more either way. I enjoyed my first play enough that I want to table it more, so that's as far as reviews go. Nothing to do with whether we actually do content in it, play it, or anything. I just want to play it more. There's also Entropy. There's a crowdfunding express over on GameFound for this one launching pretty soon, and I want to go ahead and play Entropy, and then give you my thoughts on it while that campaign is up. Hopefully before Origins, we shall see. Well, I guess maybe after Origins. It might have to be after, just timing-wise, because I might be able to get one play in before Origins. I don't know if I can get two in, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, Entropy will have coverage at some point, and then we'll have, as well as that, we have what's next on the table. We have I skipped Ringo over here from Pavison. This one I have not played yet. We are doing sponsored content around this one, so there'll be a preview on it, but I still just want to play it, and again, we'll figure out what's going on. I'll give you my thoughts at some point, but I want to at least play it, at the very least. And then lastly, Away First Tale. I came back from UKGE with that one. I have not played that one yet. I played a few of the games I came back from UKGE with, but I have not tabled that, and I would love to do so. Anyways, that is your news and weekend review. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.